No, thank you. Let me start by the last one and also maybe add a little bit on what I think is the difference between IEB and our system in public sector. One, all institutions, all examination boards are accredited by UMALUS. All the questions, you see, even if you go to IEB, your certificate is going to come from UMALUS, right? I just want to put that point first, so that now I think there is a very strong marketing hype around IEB. There is differences, I'll talk to them just now, but your first year student who is at level 7, when they go to Wits, and the other one who comes from Dube or whatever, they all do first year, right? But indeed, as Mel was saying earlier then, one of the things that we have realized, especially using mathematics as an example, is that at our schools, we teach rote learning, like algorithms, right? This is how you solve x squared plus bx plus c. This is how you solve it, right? Now, in an advanced system like IEB, they then focus on problem solving, right? Now, some of you who have been to university would remember that even when you passed maths, you had problems with what was called applied maths. Remember? So in IEB, they then do what is called advanced maths, which is more problem solving and all these other things and so on. And of course, it gives them, if a child survives that environment, when they go to university like Wits, UCT and so on, they've got some technical advantage. But as I say, now the resources endowment is not an advantage. An advantage is the vision. But in terms of working, they are used to do that. That's why if they go for engineering, where they have to get a statement and you have to design something, they would be used to that, right? So they do this advanced math, and also I think they don't do the kind of English that we do. They do some kind of an advanced English. Our curriculum, one of the things that I think went wrong with our curriculum is that we gave people a lot of choices. Like, for example, many of us here, when we were in grade 7 or grade 8, we were reading already Macbeth. But in the present situation, unless a school insists on that, it's possible that a child can finish grade 12 without reading Macbeth. And they would read things like John Canny's, what to kill, something like that. I can't remember what that book, right? The analysis that is required when you read Shakespeare is different. So I think what they concentrate on is to make sure that the level of English of our children is very, very high, and also they do this advanced maths. But even if your child is still in public school, they can still do advanced maths, right? They can still register it. It's just that it is not offered in the school. It is offered by somebody else. I know my daughter was doing that advanced maths. So she would go over the weekend to study that thing and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So they would do that. But when you go drill deeper in this advanced maths, I don't know, some people may know maths better than me. But when you drill deeper on this advanced maths, you would see that, let's take calculus, they would do the first principles, right? In advancements, they would do the second and third principles. Right? So by the time they arrive at university, they have got this small little advantage that they have. But there is that thing. Now, in terms of the quality of our education system, I was reading this report again on UMALUSI, took our curriculum and compare it with two big systems in the world. And I think one system is the one that's written mostly by Portuguese-speaking countries, right? And then the second system that they compared to was a system, Cambridge International Examination, right? The O levels and the A levels and that kind of stuff, right? And they made that analysis, independent people, right? And then came to the conclusion that our curriculum is compatible to other curriculums in the world. IEB themselves went to do the analysis, IEB, and came to the same conclusion. So I'm just saying that, and also remember the IEB classes are much smaller. You know, there's 10 children there, they can be given laptops and whatnot and all these other things and so on. We are educating the masses, the nation. And I think it's correct what we are doing. Because I'm sure some of you who are in here also operate in other African countries. You would have seen that in other African countries, like Nigeria and so on, the children of the elite, members of parliament and 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, they go and study overseas. And they come back to lead in their country. And it's a problem. The young people of Nigeria are very, very angry. That's why they continue to be unstable. The most important thing in this country is that all of our children go through that. Even IEB, I don't have a problem with IEB. It's still, moderated. When the question paper has been set, it gets moderated. And even the IEB question paper gets moderated by Umalus. So all I'm saying is that there are similarities. Yes, there's 1 or 2 advantages, but it's not a train smash.
Thank you, MSc. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, still wanna say something? Sorry for interjecting.
No, the experts will talk more about that. Okay. Let me also talk about maths and maths lit. It's another misconception. It was not supposed to compare the two. You're not supposed to compare the two. Maths and maths lit is not like higher grade and standard grade. These are two different subjects altogether, right? Maths lit was meant for those people who don't do maths, that at least they must just have some understanding of numbers. That is why even if you look at the question paper, you'll see it's charts, weather charts and whatnot and so on. So practical, day-to-day use of mathematics. That's what you teach them. So that now, we shouldn't have a situation in our times of Bantu education where you qualify at grade 12, but you started with Bible studies. To an extent that after buying at a shop, you don't even look at the slip. Sometimes when you are buying at a shop, you can look at your trolley and you can estimate, it must be 1,005. And then when a slip comes and says 3,000, you must be worried. So that's what we are teaching learners, to be responsible citizens. Just looking at the slip, they can say, no, let's check again. What went wrong? That's the kind of usefulness of mathematics. Somebody who wants to be a journalist, for an example, who just want to be a reporter, and so on and so on. They must just have a fair understanding of the numbers. But mathematics is a separate subject altogether. Maybe, I was saying that maybe we must change the name Maths Lit, because people continue to compare it with mathematics. It's not comparable. We've got only one maths. I've seen also Lukahiso, Kutlwano, they say core maths. There's no core maths, it's maths. This other thing is not maths. It's just who survive. Yeah. Who survive. Who survive. Fellow, how to corner 20 kilometers from here. When somebody is driving a car and you say to them, you must turn right 5 meters from there. At least they must be able to have a sense what that 5 meters means. You've got no clue. Because that's what the direction you want. But if somebody says 5 kilometers with a maths lit, you should be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, MSc.